Welcome, Snoozie Fam, to another Wacky Dream Wednesday, where we scour the internet to find some of the weirdest, most wacky dreams out there. You won't want to miss today's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content on dreams, nightmares, and all things sleep. When you see the person show up in your dream more than once, it can be quite confusing. Scientists have found that dreams are vivid sensory motor illusions that feel almost like real life. In our dreams, we may see things that worry us, or we may see the thing that we most desire. The more we think about these things and give them importance, whether we are aware of it or not, the more likely it is that they will show up in our dreams. Today's story is inspired by a user over on Reddit, and it's about seeing the same woman night after night in their dream. Now, let the dreams begin. My day began with smoking a cigarette while I was in the cab to the metro station. It was a cold winter morning in December, and I was on my way to work. I was sitting in my usual spot on the metro and reading the newspaper. I got off at my stop and then proceeded to wave a cab to take me the rest of the way to the office. The day started with me presenting a new ad campaign to my team. Everybody loved the presentation, and my ingenious idea got the green light. By the time the meeting was over, it was already 2 o'clock. I went for lunch with Ryan and Shelly, my 2 work besties. It was a long and exhausting meeting, but I was super stoked that my ideas for the new marketing campaign were finally being used. After lunch, we headed back to the office, and the rest of the day was pretty usual, the same old routine. I said my goodbyes to my colleagues and left for the day. I took the bus to the metro station back home, and the ride was hectic and jam-packed. By the time I reached home, I was exhausted. While I was in the lobby of my building, I saw my neighbor Tony walking his dog. Tony walked over to me and told me that a lady came by earlier this afternoon looking for me. She didn't say anything about why she wanted to see me or who she was. Tony then continued walking his dog and left me standing in the lobby, thinking about who this lady might be. I wonder who she might be or why she was looking for me. Meanwhile, I got to my unit, ordered a pizza, poured myself a generous glass of Jack Daniels, and switched on the TV. A documentary about elephants was playing on the TV, but I couldn't concentrate on the film. Rather, I was busy thinking about that lady. The doorbell rang and my pizza arrived. I paid for the food and continued drinking my whiskey on the sofa. After finishing a medium pizza all by myself, my head started to feel foggy and my eyes grew heavy. I dozed off on the couch and a few hours passed. When I woke up to check the time, it was already 3:30 a.m. I managed to crawl back to my bed from the sofa and quickly fell asleep. When I opened my eyes, I was at my old university, and I saw a woman sitting on the bench across from the lecture hall. I looked at her and I knew that I recognized her from somewhere, but I couldn't remember where. The lady gave me a very familiar vibe, and she had the most friendly smile. I went to talk to her so we could walk together to our next class. We walked by the Christian Society. They were handing out free coffee, tea, and donuts. She had a donut and a cup of tea. The Christian Society tried to talk to her about God, but she said, "Sorry, but God doesn't love me. If God really cared about me, I wouldn't be late today." When she said that, I chuckled. We went on to attend the class, and while coming back, we met the same Christian Society. They were still offering donuts and tea, and again, they tried to talk to her about God. And she repeated the exact same phrase from the morning. This time, I felt a little embarrassed. I could see that they didn't want to give her the donuts, but they had to. Suddenly, I heard a loud ringing noise, and then I woke up. It was my alarm clock from my phone. I had a major migraine from all that drinking the night before. The dream was so abrupt and strange, but I remembered every detail of it. I thought I knew this woman in my dream, but I didn't know her name. After a couple of minutes of daydreaming, I finally got back to my senses, and I remembered that Tony had mentioned a lady looking for me. Was this the same lady in my dream? The day passed like any other day at work, but I was busy trying to connect the dots. Some random lady came looking for me, and then I had a dream about a lady I thought I knew, but I didn't remember her name. This was all so strange. When I got back home from work, I went back to my room to sleep. While laying down in my bed, I wondered if I could return to my dream and ask the woman what her name was. That would hopefully give me some sort of closure on who this mysterious lady was. While I was swimming in my ocean of thoughts, I fell asleep. When I opened my eyes in my dream, again, there that lady was, eating her lunch on the bench. I went to her and said, "Hi, may I sit here with you?" She smiled and replied, "Sure." I asked her what her name was, and she replied, "Salma." While talking to Salma, I learned that she had prepared her own lunch. She made her own lunch every single day to save some money. I wasn't like her, on the other hand. Never did I make my own lunches. I was never a good cook, so I always just bought something from the school cafeteria and ate it with my friends. I asked Salma if she wanted to join my friends for lunch, and then she looked at me with a strange look on her face. She said, "I don't even know your friends. I'm not gonna go have lunch with them." It was such an odd response to a simple question, but I didn't think much of it. We had more lectures together in the afternoon. Then, when it got dark, we walked home. She, of course, lived close by to me. Then I woke up. It felt like déjà vu. Everything felt like it had already happened. And I was so intrigued by this woman named Salma in my dream that there was nothing else on my mind apart from her. I didn't go to the office that day. I stayed home and did nothing but daydream about Salma. Who was she? Why do I keep seeing her in my dream? What significance does this person have? Apart from taking out the trash, I stayed indoor for the entire day. Now that I think of it, maybe I was just waiting for the night to come so I could dream about Salma again, to try to learn more about who she is. Eventually, night arrived and I fell asleep. Again, there she was, but this time she was sitting alone at the bar with a glass of water in hand. I went up to Salma and asked, "Why are you at a bar if you're just going to drink water?" "This isn't water," she said. "It's vodka." I was surprised to see that she was drinking so much vodka. I didn't know what to say, so I returned to my friends, but I kept an eye on her all night. She did take her time with the vodka, but she eventually drank the entire glass, every last drop of vodka. I could tell that she was quite drunk at that point. That night, the bar was hosting a karaoke night. Surprisingly, Salma got up on stage to sing. She had a beautiful voice, but I didn't understand anything that came out of her mouth. It was almost as if she was singing in a different language. Everyone else at the bar seemed to like her performance, and we all applauded after she was done her song. I went up to Salma afterwards and gave her a big hug. I said, "I didn't know you can sing. You have such a beautiful voice." She said, "Oh, yeah, I sing a lot and I love to perform." Then she leaned in closer to me to whisper in my ears. As I said, we don't have much time in this world, so why not do the things that you love to do? I was quite shocked to hear what she said, and I didn't really understand what she meant by that. Then, Salma looked into my eyes and held onto my hands. She smiled at me and said, "Thank you for being my friend. You are so special to me and I will remember you forever." Then her body started to fade. She became more and more transparent by the second. And then she disappeared. I stood at the bar staring blankly into nothingness. Where did Salma go? Why did she disappear? I cried in pain and grief. And then I woke up. I sat up from my bed for a moment and thought to myself, was Salma my best friend I never had? Was she someone special I was going to meet in the future? Or was she someone I lost the opportunity to meet in the past? After that night, Salma never reappeared in my dreams. And as for the lady that came looking for me at my apartment, that was just my aunt. She was visiting the city for work and decided to visit me. Her phone was dead, so she couldn't even call me. Our dreams are mainly dictated by our thoughts and imaginations. Sometimes we meet people in our dreams that we don't recognize, but we feel a special bond or a connection with this person. Have you ever met someone in your dream that you don't recognize but have a special connection with? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click on that notification bell for more amazing content like this. Share this with a friend if you think they may need a little wake-up call. Thanks for watching, and until next time, sleep well.